Well, hello guys, welcome back. Somebody asked a really good question if I would talk about what it's been like since Odin left, and it's been really rough. I grew up in a bad household, so I first thing you learn to do is hide when you have a problem because if you have a dysfunctional family, they spot weakness, man. They spot it a mile away, which is probably why I was primed to work with Odin. And it's been so fucking incredibly rough. It's been like you feel like you're in a war. And I kept thinking of this Will Smith clip, and I know you all know it, at least if you're around my age, of, when father leaves for his prince. And the lower like you're watching that today, baby. And that's exactly what it's like. Why wasn't I good enough? Why didn't I matter? And the law forced me to go into mourning last night, and I did not want to go into mourning because remember, my survival skills, you don't show you're sad, you don't show you're upset, you don't show weakness, you know. And they were like, "No, you're doing this," and it wasn't taking. We did the bath, we did the candle, we did the chants, we did everything we should. We did everything as directed by the Baron. Even did a meal afterwards. I felt a little better, but it wasn't helping. And I had a dream this morning. I had a couple series of dreams, didn't even want to get out of bed. They were like all these micro dreams of either the Loa surrounding me or the demons surrounding me or both. And Asmodeus was in my dreams and everything else. And as wonderful as this was, I hadn't really broken open yet, I hadn't really started to cry. Then they had me watch that Fresh Prince clip this morning. Yeah, I started to cry. All right. And it's good to cry. You have to at some point during mourning. Well, let me correct that. Some people have to. And I tried to say, as my mom said when my dad passed, I said, well, I did all my crying when Odin was here, and I did quite a lot of crying behind the scenes when Odin was here. He was not an easy god to love, not even remotely. And I always felt like I wasn't good enough, so he was like Daddy the second, because I wasn't good enough for my father either. And having to watch that clip, that brought it all to the surface and started crying. I still miss them. I still wonder why the hell I wasn't good enough. Cause I'm not built the way they want me to be built. I will never be good enough in the type of relationship that Odin decided he wanted, cause he wanted to have, Aesir and Vanir only. And then I know damn well, I know the old man, he was gonna close the door and it was gonna be Aesir only. And then he was gonna start portioning off the gods that he didn't want around me. He gets a little possessive with his people, and it's dangerous because he will do whatever he can to break you and remold you. And he couldn't break me, and he kept, he would say one time, "Oh, you should join this fight. It's the right thing to do." And then the next time he would say, "What? That's not even your fight. What are you doing?" And I think it was Emir's been trying to come in for quite a while. And if I ever got any kindness, I thought it was Emir, and Emir would just look away and not look at me. And it's hard. You go through mourning. It's like the story of Job in the Bible. Cliff Notes version, he loses everything and God replaces it, but it was God's fault he lost it. Spoiler alert. Um, but it's not his original family back. I don't care if he got 20 times the family. He lost his children. He lost everything. He lost everything just because he got a numerical value greater than back. That's not a happy ending. He lost his damn family. He lost everything that mattered. He got other people. And the hardest thing is, I'm sure he felt like I do, you want the family that's surrounding you at the time to feel loved. And you do love them, but you still mourn and you miss the family you will never see again. And it feels every so often like Odin pushes at the periphery, or Freya comes in, and I want to instantly break down and cry, but I'm not going to show weakness, because if I cry, then they'll be in like a shot, and all this mourning and all this crying and all this facing up to not being good enough won't be worth anything, because I'll be right back under his thumb. So it's been pretty hard. It's been like, I told the law, I said, this is kind of part of the punishment. And the other part of the punishment is the more I work with the Loa, the more, you have to face the fact that even though race is a myth, and it is, Peller people have done horrible things to black people, and you have to face that every day in your relationship. At least I do. I don't know how some people just go like, and you realize there's no race, and you realize your Loa love you. You realize that's true. But at the same time, everything we're going through right now, it's like it's the penance you're paying just to deal with them. And it hurts. It really hurts. It's really painful. So I've been going through a lot of pain. And not showing it on camera because, I grew up in a really bad family. I grew up in a family where your daddy would beat you sideways for crying. So, you learn to hide the pain inside, and you learn to not mourn, and you learn to not grieve. I had a family where you were not allowed to grieve when someone died. Someone died too fucking bad. You did not grieve. You just got on with your life. You didn't cry. We didn't sit around and cry and say it's so sad, whomever is gone. We didn't do that. I grew up in a very stoic, emotionalist family, which is, I think, what primed Odin. But, Ogu had me watch that clip. And Ogu's like, this is a real father bases a wannabe father. He wants to be your god. Where was he when you were a child? And, where has he been during this tough time? If he truly loved you, it's in his wheelhouse to be able to give you a blessing, contentment, and peace. To not let you suffer on like this. He says he doesn't give a shit about you. And he said, I'm sorry, baby, but, you got to face the facts. And, it's been hard. There are days that I want to get up and run back to Odin, and I know I will give up my entire family. And the thing is, the demons love me so much, and Loki loves me so much, they're like, go ahead, you'll be happy. And, that breaks my heart even more, because they're saying they know I'll have to give him up, but because I miss Odin so much, and I'm sure he's trying to lure me over to him. They'll let me go just so I'd be happy. So it's been kind of painful. But we got to readjust. But I'm glad somebody asked, because I've been acting like everything's fine. I've been acting like everything's so much better, and in a way it is. The house is relaxed and the house is happy, but at the same time, I do have to go through the morning. So it was funny. I don't know why, but blues music always appears out of nowhere when I'm at my lowest, and so I was listening to some blues music last night, and I'm just gonna have to try to get through this. I'll probably watch that Fresh Prince thing a couple more times. I'll actually give you the link, because it's like everything I've been going through. Like, why wasn't I good enough? And I cried a little at first, but I really didn't. I wasn't letting myself mourn, because it's just a survival skill. And in letting yourself mourn, sometimes we don't do it because we want to pretend the person's coming back or the relationship's coming back, and it just isn't. I think it's why some of us avoid mourning, because if we never went into mourning, if we never admitted to the loss, maybe they'll magically come back in our life. And I know all I would have to do is say I want him back, and he would be back like a shot, and everyone else will be gone. And I'm not willing to do that. I have to protect Loki. I have to protect the Voodoo Loa. I have to protect the demons. I have to protect all the other parts of the family. And as painful as this is right now, get over it eventually. It's just going to hurt for a while. It's really going to hurt. Odin, if it was Odin, I don't even know anymore. He can be good to his people when it suits him, but he can also be very cold and cruel like this as well. So, if people had asked me a couple of years ago if they should serve him, I would have said absolutely, and now I would say no. And there's no bonds, because person to mention, and you all knew I had relationship with Odin. They asked if that mattered. I said not even a bit. I said if the god decides it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. I'm sure if they wanted something out of you, they would wave it in your face, but when they decide it's over. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. I will give you that link to that video below. And, I can relate to that, because, my dad wasn't ever there either, unless he was beating us kids. So if you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.